welcome to SFN. I'm Diane Wesley Smith, and I'm your host today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Now, I promised at the last show, during the last show, to share some factual information about retirement planning and options. Not planning, options for retirement. Because first we have to identify the options before we can identify the plan, right? And we have to also identify what the goals are. So just put a bookmark on that subject, and we will get back to it. But there's something very pressing, and you know SFN, San Francisco Community News, we are dedicated to the well-being of San Francisco as a whole, from as an entire city, from the person that's laying on the corner who has nowhere to go and is feeling hopeless, to the person that's on Nob Hills. I'm not going to say it. That person on Nob Hill, Lower Haight, the Bayview, Hunters Point, Alice Griffith, Potrero Hill, the Richmond, the Sunset, Western Addition, and the Fillmore. So speaking of the Fillmore, the hot topic is redistricting. You know, I heard a lot about it. I'm sure you have too. And then a lot of us were told, okay, this is the plan, but without we didn't have specific information. So San Francisco Rising sent us an email this morning, and we must share this information with you. We absolutely must. So let me get started. The first thing about this is what San Francisco Rising said in an email to us this morning. The redistricting task force is pushing past their deadline for a better map. So the map that we were told was the best map for us apparently isn't the best map for all of us. So the email said, "Dear Diane, the redistricting fight is not over. Last week, the victory of our San Francisco Unity Map Coalition, the task force voted 5-4 to reject what was expected to be their final map, a divisive map that would have disenfranchised Blacks, Latinx, AAPI, and working class residents throughout San Francisco." San Francisco Rising went on to say, "We now have another chance to convince the task force to adopt fair and just new district lines that reflect the needs of the communities of color, LGBTQ residents, and working class families. The task force plans to decide their final draft of the map at the final meeting, which will be Wednesday, April 25th, which will be April 25th and April 27th. Most importantly, the last time to say anything, if you want to be represented, the last opportunity you will have will be Wednesday, April 27th at 10 a.m. for public comment, and then they will take the final vote. It's up to all of us, San Francisco Rising says, to reverse the trend of this process that has put serving affluent, privileged neighborhoods above preserving the voices of marginalized communities. Over the past weeks, the redistricting task force has repeatedly ignored community input while drafting their maps. They have failed to follow criteria for decisions and have gone back and forth on votes multiple times. Despite a 19-hour meeting on Saturday, April 9th, 4 task force members courageously decided to walk out and protest the unfair and compromised process. Because of San Francisco Rising's mobilization and grassroots organizing, hundreds of San Franciscans have shown up to inform the task force of how discriminatory and unjust the map was, and to call upon them to do better. All of us must give all we can said San Francisco Rising, because if we don't, a map for the next 10 years will discriminate, divide, and silence vulnerable San Franciscans, just as the recently rejected draft map had the capability to do. In solidarity, San Francisco Rising. We want to thank you, San Francisco Rising, for that public service announcement. It was most timely as we were recording our show today. And this will air several times. So, that is from San Francisco Rising with regard to the redistricting of San Francisco. Now, let me go a step further. We're going to get around to options in retirement, but you know, we're all vested in the city. Whether we retire here or elsewhere, we still have future generations. We're concerned about the future of our city and the common good. So with that's SFN, us. Now, in the new redistricting proposal, District 1 would be Seacliff and the Richmond districts combined. The rejected draft map added the comparatively tonier Seacliff neighborhood to District 1, along with more of the Lake Street and Presidio Terrace neighborhoods. If you know San Francisco, process that. Look it up. Look up the District 1. And if it were to be Seacliff and Richmond, what that would mean. District 4, they would join Lakeshore with the Sunset. One proposed change on the draft was to add the Lakeshore Merced Manor neighborhoods to District 4. Longshore was one of 2 neighborhoods in San Francisco to actually lose some overall population in the 2020 census, and now has a majority Asian population. Lakeshore is overwhelmingly populated by renters. Merced Manor is mostly homeowners. Both are among the most conservative neighborhoods in the city. Districts, and again, this is the information from the redistricting proposed map or district changes. The proposal for Districts 5 and 6, they would combine the Tenderloin, Civic Center, and the Western Addition. This move has had a serious impact on District 6, moving the Tenderloin and the Civic Center away from neighborhoods like south of Market or Soma splits the major progressive constituencies, the affordable housing, and other advocacy nonprofits who now dominate the politics of that district. And congratulations to Matt Haney. Matt Haney is an advocate, and he is the current, well, at this airing, he is now the new assemblyman for Assembly District 17. And with his successor will be left to, so the successor for District 6 will be, because Matt Haney has been elected. Congratulations. We need some bold, innovative, strong young men and women and some seasoned professionals to advocate for San Francisco. His successor will be left to deal with the new landscape, which between the split and the demographic changes would be more centrist, meaning having moderate political views or policies. To combine the District 9 and District 10, that would combine Portola, or we call it Portla, but Portola District and the Potrero District. By taking out Potrero and replacing it with Portla, the draft map essentially replaced white voters with Asian voters, with Asian potential voters in District 10. Perhaps more importantly, Potrero Hill votes far more frequently and reliably than the rest of the district. It is also reliably progressive. That is, in a nutshell, those are the facts of the proposal for District 1, District 4, District 5, and and 6, District 9 and 10. Again, the proposal is in District 1 to combine Seacliff and the Richmond, District 4 to join Lakeshore with the Sunset, District 5 and 6 would take Western Addition out of its own community and combine it with the Tenderloin and Civic Center. And District 10 would, this new proposal will combine District 9 and District 10. We're not going to give an opinion on that, but I pray that you pay attention so that common sense will prevail and that you understand why the current proposed redistricting was unacceptable and divisive, according to San Francisco Rising. Okay, let's move on. As I promised you, we were going to talk about planning for retirement and all of the considerations that come along with that. Retirement, and the first thing, one of the first options, and I'm just going to share some information with you, so please have a pen and paper, or you can always, of course, send me an email, as San Francisco Rising did this morning, and you can always send me an email with your questions. I can't tell you how many people asked me on the street. When I say on the street, when I'm out and about in San Francisco, they asked me what I thought about the redistricting. And the facts speak for themselves. They have a lot of work to do. That is my opinion. There is a lot of work to do. Don't quite understand why they want to change it other than it looks like a power grab to me. You decide for yourself. So, you know, I mentioned to you in the last episode that I know what it's like to prepare for retirement, that my husband and I had the experience, and it's very interesting. So first thing is deciding where do you want to live. I love San Francisco, it's my native city, but my husband was absolutely determined once we purchased here to not move. So there's some people that want to cash in the equity on their home, pay that house off or rent that house off. There's a lot of things one can do. But that was just so some people want to leave, some people want to stay, and sometimes they're married to each other, and therein goes compromise and love and working together. So deciding where to live is the first decision for many people, because you can make it work. You can have the plan. You have to decide in your golden years, first of all, can you make your years golden? What do you need to do to make your years golden? Are there some additional plans you need to make? And therein will help you decide your goals. What do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want? Are you able to pay all of your bills now? Do you need to make some financial adjustments? Do you have a nest egg? Do you want a nest egg? Because we're speaking about retirement, in the next year or so, or actually anytime we're talking about retirement, there's a lot of planning involved. So most people start 10 years ahead of time. So if you're planning, you're starting ahead of time. But there are a lot of people that are retired and they're saying, I think I want to do more. I think I want more. There are a lot of people that are saying, you know what, I'm fine the way it is. And some say, you know what, I've been wanting to leave San Francisco, and let me see. Diane, what kind of plan do you have? Do you have a plan for me? Well, of course I have a plan for everyone. I spoke to someone and I told them we're launching Diane Buys Homes. And my motto is Diane has a plan. But also my motto is those that say it cannot be done should not interrupt those doing it. But when I said that my motto my additional motto, or my second motto, is Diane has a plan. And Randy Munyon, who also, congratulations, Randy. Randy just opened his brokerage in the last year, and congratulations and much success to you. And I look forward to collaborating and helping in any way that I can. So retirement, it's a pivotal life event. Pivotal meaning that it is a big change. You're going to change. It causes millions of people in their late 50s and early 60s to reassess whether their current residential situation will be consistent with a new lifestyle, work, family, and housing realities. Part of the housing realities could be those stairs. At least initially, most retirees will opt to stay at their current address. Some will radically change their milieu, or it really means their social environment, and choose to live in a planned adult retirement community for independent, healthy, and unimpaired people in their late 50s and older. Still others will move to communities that, while are not specifically planned for older adults, will be predominantly occupied by their age group. Now, let me just add, downsizing does not mean downgrading your lifestyle. In fact, since smaller homes are often more affordable overall, and this smaller homes also includes condos, you can opt to buy or rent a trendy condo in an upscale neighborhood for less than what you're selling, for less than what you're shelling out now for your monthly mortgage payments. Moving into a patio home in a retirement community might also mean you have access to a swimming pool, clubhouse, and dining facilities all on the premises. So, depends on what you want. You have so many options. Retirement. Planning for retirement. I pray that you, I pray that you are fortunate enough to retire, but you can. You just have to have a plan. And at any point, reach out to me. Send me an email to my bvhprealtors@comcast.net. And I will work with you one-on-one, okay, and answer some questions for you. Because the number one point is we have to get it right. We have to get the universe. This is the big universal decision. And as you transition to retirement, almost everyone will make a lot of critical decisions, including, are you sure that you can do that? When are you going to stop working? Can you afford to stop working? You want to know when. These are things you need to answer. When do you want to stop working? When do you want to start Social Security? Where should you retire? Be thoughtful about your choices and try out different scenarios, especially if you don't have a significant savings. And I'm particularly speaking to people that don't have significant savings, because everyone else, you can follow this plan. You know what to do. Some of you may have significant savings in your home. You may be living in your piggy bank. But if these decisions can have a dramatic impact on your quality of life in retirement. Of course, it goes without saying, right? This is information that I researched from the U.S. News and World Report, 11/21. So, these decisions, as I mentioned before, can have a dramatic impact. Delaying the start of Social Security can add almost $100,000 to your bottom line. So, you say delay, how long? Delay till when? The age of 70. If you wait, as opposed to retiring at 62, if you can wait and retire at 70, that's $100,000 more to your bottom line. Then compare your net worth and out of money age in the different scenarios to figure out the best time for you to start to bring the most money over your lifetime. To bring in the most money over your lifetime. Working a little longer is a triple treat. You earn more income for a longer period of time, you can save more money, and you can delay tapping existing savings. Where will you retire? If you own a home, it could save your retirement. Consider it and how it might tap into your home equity. Tapping into home equity is another option. I don't like to say reverse mortgage is an option, but if you are ever considering reverse mortgage, I want to show you all the pros and cons. So give me a call so we can talk about it. Okay? So we tiptoe into retirement, baby steps, not big steps. Think about the passive income. There are other things that you can do. Now we're going to wrap this up and we will continue the planning for retirement and in San Francisco, the Bay Area, back east, down south. We'll talk about some more options, but first things first. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Actually, next Monday at 7:30 here on SFN. Thanks. Bye-bye.